So which are the knives I use the most? Guys, that's going to be a topic of this video. If you enjoy the content and want to see more, subscribe to the channel. You also have my books, Street Survival Skills and Surviving the Economic Collapse, available in the links there as well, and my Instagram account if you want to follow me there too. So these are the knives I use the most recently. This changes from time to time, but some of these are pretty constant. Maybe for general task where I need something that cuts well and that has a nice pointy blade, the Heltafors is a nice way to go. This is a knife that has lived in the shed for a while. Then I did a little bit of a vinegar job there, and it's a little bit grayish. It's not so much black, but it does retain a little bit of oil, slightly better than without it. It naturally developed a patina, which you can sort of kind of still see there underneath that vinegar finish, but yeah, this is a knife that is made of very simple carbon steel, very tough little knives. You find these all over the place. Heltafors, if not your Mora, in carbon steel or stainless, will pretty much do the same thing. These are tough, reliable knives. They have a comfortable handle, these Heltafors. So I'll leave the link if I find these. If not, I'll leave the link for Mora, which is the closest thing to it. I found these at a time, I want to say it was under like a buck, definitely under $2. They were super cheap, and I bought a bunch of them. Second here in the list is the Glock knife. The Glock knife has been with me for a long time. I didn't do any torture test, I didn't try to break it. I guess it's fun. You put it somewhere and you lever it, or just you beat with it with a hammer until you break it. That's cool. I've just been using this thing a lot through the years. The only thing that I did do myself, which is removing a little bit of, well, just filing it just to get a chance of getting a fire steel there. Sort of works. Not ideal, not the best fire steel striker there is, but it does work, and that's what I wanted it, especially in a knife that I may end up bringing to some trip every once in a while, especially when I want something a little bit more compact. I have a small fire steel in there, I have a water bag, and of course paracord and some fire starter as well, some of this shoot cord. Yeah, so this is okay. This is like a very compact, super cheap survival knife. It's tough. I mostly end up using this for splitting wood for the fireplace. And that's why it's a little bit rusty. A couple spots there of orange. There you go. That's it. I don't worry much about it. I'm not using it for processing food or anything like that. When I want to bring more of a serious survival knife in a trip or something like that, I usually will bring this one. This is still very much the prototype of my Aitor Ferfal knife. This is the knife I designed myself for Spanish company Aitor, which actually ended up developing this knife, and here it is. Right. Aitor Ferfal, my knife made in Spain. I'll leave the links for all of these things there below. Well, it's a blade geometry that I find a lot more useful for something, especially in a smaller knife that I still want to have some decent chopping ability, which it does have. I'm not inventing anything. I mean, you could even say this is kind of like the White Hunter emblematic knife, if there ever was one, with a few differences, of course. But yeah, it's the sort of thing that you sometimes see in that recurve blade and the heavy head in the knife. I still use this one. It was sent to me by Aitor for testing the blade. I chopped through a chunk of wall, cut some copper tubing. The edge was just fine, and I kept on testing it. Eventually I said, you know what, I might as well get put a decent little grip on it so as to make it more comfortable, which I did. It's not fine or anything, but it's comfortable for my hand. And this is it's a great knife. This is the knife that I would have wanted to, well, the one I ended up actually making. It's stainless steel. I think this is N690, I believe. So it's one of the nicer stainless steels that you have. It throws sparks beautifully well. tool. And mostly it doesn't rust, so that's a big plus, right? Holds an edge better than your 1095, doesn't rust, takes a beating. Yeah, happy with that. Then there are the pocket knives, and for many, many years, I just have to say this, the one I was using was this one. And because it has been used quite a bit, it has some wear, and even though it doesn't seem like a lot, keep in mind, this is Leatherman Charge and the blade is S30V. That is a very nice steel. That's a steel that has a lot of edge retention, so you can use this blade a lot and you will not wear it down as in, say, a Victorinox knife, which is fine. You know, a Victorinox, which I have it here because I've been using it quite a bit too. So it will not wear as much as a Victorinox knife. But yeah, over the years, this is what I've been using the most. But since I retired this multi-tool, then the one I'm using more now is this one. This is the one that I will have in my pocket. I still haven't had the need to sharpen it because even though I use it every once in a while, I try to be careful and not abuse the blade. It is the blade of a multi-tool. If I want to abuse it, I use one of these, right? Makes perfect sense, at least to me it does. So yes, but still over the years, as you keep on using it, eventually you have to sharpen it and whatnot. So it will end up like this after some time. I have used a couple times my CRKT, which is not the intended use. I've used it a couple times. I don't know exactly why it was, but the tip for opening something. Ideally, I will use this. I will usually have both of these, right? I will usually have both of these. And in most cases, this is the blade I want to use. Well, this actually has been used a couple times, by the way. But this is the blade I will use the most. This one I keep super sharp for emergencies. I want this to be razor crazy sharp. So yeah, that's my setup in terms of EDC. If I just have one, it's probably gonna be this one, which I feel comfortable enough, you know. I still have a decent little blade. The other one that I've been unexpectedly using has been the Victorinox Soldier. I still have to clean this one because it's a little bit dirty, but cutting wires and peeling cables and whatnot and a bunch of other stuff, I've been using it a little bit. It's not a go-to knife for me, but yeah, if you want to have a decent pocket knife, you can do a lot worse than a Victorinox Soldier. You have the blade, you have a very utilitarian blade with that serration there. You have your saw tool and screwdriver and a bunch of things that, especially when you're doing like work, when you're actually doing some work around the house and whatnot. I mean, it's not a full set of tools or anything even close to that, but you can do a lot with a good Victorinox, and the Victorinox Soldier certainly is one. Guys, these are the knives I'm using lately the most. If you want to share your thoughts, leave those in the comments below. If you want to buy one of these knives, not this one because that's a prototype. If you want to buy the Aitor Fairfall knife, which a lot of people have bought and liked quite a bit, and of course I like it because I designed it. Why wouldn't I? And the links for the books, everything is going to be there below. And subscribe to the channel. You'll have the button somewhere now floating around. See you later. Take care.